Hey, this is George.
Hey, this is Fred's.
This is Real Talk with George and Fraser. What's going on, brother? How's your weekend?
A weekend. Everyone relaxation, nothing really to do. Watching sports, the usual stuff men do. You sit around the house and do stuff and do nothing.
Okay, okay.
Call it vacation. What about you?
Oh man, same old man, honeydew stuff. My son had a basketball tournament this weekend on
Oh,
Saturday and
nice.
Sunday.
How you do?
They took second place in the tournament overall, but I just have to tell you, man, honestly, with this whole AAU thing, I really understand what people like the late Kobe Bryant and others were saying about what AAU has become because it's just, when I say phrase, it's terrible. It's terrible. We're in New Jersey, but it just seems like if you're not part of a legitimate AAU system, like AAU directly, the organization, because the thing with AAU is everybody can say that they're an AAU team, but everybody doesn't play in the quote legitimate signing up of the AAU organization. You
True.
see what I'm saying? So they get past it by taking AAU's insurance, but they play their games in any other place because AAU also provides the team insurance for the organizations. So long story short, AAU has become a place where people are more worried about winning chips and winning championships. So they stack teams, they do
Yeah.
this. So my son is 13 years old, they're eighth graders. The kids that they brought to the championship were 14 and 15 years old, and they were like, oh, well, they got quote unquote, this thing's called reclass. That's the new thing. Everybody's
Yeah.
talking about, oh, they've been reclass. And then they'll try to say, oh, these kids got reclassed twice. Okay, if they got reclassed twice, which means that they failed a grade twice, this is still
Exactly.
AAU. This is not travel. So the rules say they have to be 13. So in AAU, they can go play 14 and 15-year-old kids. They don't have to come downstairs here and play 13-year-old kids.
Exactly.
So we lost in the championship, man. But it's just like everybody now is starting to get to their limit where they're like, especially with these tournaments around here,
Yeah.
if they have the policies in their on their website and rules, but if we really don't start checking kids' IDs and things like that, things are just going to have to change. So
Well,
that's
I tell you, think why reason why we it did it been doing it for years. The reason why it didn't bother us because we played kids bigger than us anyway. That's the only way we got to play. So we used to playing kid twice outside adults because that's what we were playing on. These kids now play kids their own ages, which to me is an advantage and disadvantage. Because when you play a kid bigger than you and you play all the time, like say he plays you all the time and he beats you, right? He beats you one time. His confidence level is so high, he don't care who you put in front of him, he's gonna beat him. You know what I'm saying? Because he know I beat my daddy. He know as good as my daddy. So I'm gonna beat him. That's one of the things we use at coaching. When we played football, we played against our team for game time.
hmm
So we let them beat us. They beat us. So when they got in the game time, who could beat them? They cover level so high.
no,
They,
I understand
they
that, but the reason
Hey,
why I'm
who's the
saying that,
rules?
yeah, no, it's not just the rules. I understand that. We always like our kids to play up, but
Yeah,
this is a tournament, okay? And when you start getting kids, I mean, look, we saw that some of those kids, it was just different. Like they were like little men, from muscular structure to face structure to facial hair and everything. You see what I mean? And you can't play in a tournament like that when our kids who are legitimate have a possibility of getting hurt because you got
yeah,
another team playing to win.
yeah.
I remember sitting them down on the bench yesterday and I asked them, I said, are they stronger than you? And all the players, even my son. Now my son balls and trains with high schoolers.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah. So that's when I was like, okay, then you guys take it easy, play smarter, make sure you don't get hurt,
Yeah.
playing these kids. And so that's the real issue when it comes to that. So, but anyway, let's put a pin in
Yeah.
that conversation
Well,
because we
let's
got another
see you later
conversation
on.
coming. We have Mr. DJ Epps. He is with us. He
Yes,
is
sir.
down in the dashboard.
What's
Welcome to
going
Real
on?
Talk.
What's going on, fellas? How y'all
What's
doing?
going on? Hey,
Hello,
George, check
sir.
it out though. See, you got a reverse version of my gray hair on top. That's what I'm talking about. Representing, baby,
Okay.
representing, baby.
Okay.
Don't
I
get it twisted.
definitely can
That's
dig
that
it.
platinum, boy. That's that platinum.
I see. Oh, hey, okay, my platinum beard going on. You made me get my beard now.
George
Hey,
Fraser, how y'all doing?
Doing good.
good, brother. Good, brother.
Epps, I'm giggling because I actually saw a Cisco video, man, on YouTube yesterday, brother. Crazy, right? Looks like, yeah, man. Yeah, man. Looks like you saw the same video. It's crazy.
I know. Right? Oh man.
Oh man, I got that all the time with Cisco.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Listen, we
Oh,
appreciate you being on the show, man. Tell the fans and the listeners a little bit about yourself.
Haitian American, born in Harlem, New York, Spanish Harlem, and moved to Miami to make a name for myself and my brand. And I was successful at that in the early 90s and kept it on till this day. Was able to build a beautiful family. We're called the Dominicans. My wife is Dominican, Haitian, and that's where we put the Dominican together. And the world is they know me as to be the crowd motivator on the turntables or the DJ booth, whatever you want to call it, at the parties, and also breaking new music from new talents from all around the world.
Nice. And so, do you do that with your own production company, your own record label? How do you do? Is it just scouting? Is it production and development? What are you doing as far as recruiting new talent?
With my own production, little by little, I'm learning how to build hit records. You know what I mean? Actually, I know how to do the hit records. It's just putting it out there nowadays because it's not like how it was back in the days, man. It's all about the number games these days with these kids. And so I'm learning that part of it. But the hit records, they're in the vault. You know what I mean? But I'm also just, I'm here for anybody that needs help getting their music pushed through my platform because they see, what I'm doing on my live, or whether it's on my Instagram or whether I'm at the party and whatnot. You know what I mean? These kids or these artists, they don't have too many DJs that do what I do, and that's break records, that's break music. And yeah, you could play it, but breaking it is a total different story. You got to put these songs in these people's head and make sure they go home remembering, damn, what's that record Epps played? Damn, man, that thing was jumping. I like that.
Right.
yeah.
So, breaking a record is totally different from playing a record. So, that's what I'm known for, breaking music artists.
Nice. Now, just to follow up on that breaking records, do you work with a community, or do you just, when I say a community, like for instance, when you break a record, back in the day, it would be like, okay, you're from New York, so if Hot 97 hit the record, then all of a sudden, Philly would jump on it, you know what I mean? And then from Philly jumping in, Baltimore would jump on it, and you would have that little 3-state, 4-state kind of thing happen until all of a sudden they'd be like, yo, that record that they playing in New York, son, you know what I mean? That's how it's going. And next thing you know, ATL picked it up, and then it's down in Florida. You know what I mean? Like, do you have a community of DJs, or do you just move it yourself through your social media platform?
I move it myself through my social media platform because at the end of the day, I can't tell another DJ what to play. I could advise them like, yo, this is the new hot shit about to come out and whatnot. But, a lot of DJs nowadays, they sitting on the sideline waiting for a bag, from the artist or something. And so am I, because this is a business now. You know what I mean? It's a business. So I do it through my social media platform. And yes, it's like a domino effect. You know what I mean? Once, a record's broken, and hopefully, the rest of the markets all around the world will end up picking up on it. But, I'm not worrying about, the market's picking it up on it. I'm worrying about I'm jump starting your car.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm that guy I'm gonna start it. You know what I mean? And those artists is gonna spread the word that Epps is the first one to jump start it, to break it, and then more clients will end up coming my way, and that's how I build my business. Back in the days, Flex used to do it on Hot 97, like you said. Some of these other DJs would do it, but I think the art of breaking record has gone down, and you know, I stayed in that lane because now throughout the pandemic it became a bigger business for me. So, you know, as I sat here in my room and I built my studio and I built this DJ Epps and Friends platform on my IG Monday to Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern, you know, people are just tuning in and they listen to the new music, they listen to my mixes, they listen to the content that I bring consistent.
Nice.
One more question, Fred. Wait, Fred. I know one more question.
I know
He
you
was
give
like, yeah, man. He was talking about mixtapes and content. You don't understand, Fred. See, Fred, you in Miami, brother, but you don't understand. Them mixtapes, son, was jumping up here. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you couldn't get a mixtape that was hot to death. And when I say it was in the streets, it was in the streets.
Yep.
So back to mixtapes and the way that that's working, do you think that the online version of that is really where to capitalize on? Because, you know, hustling those tapes and CDs like they used to do is just, I mean, DJs, so people don't know, some DJs actually went to jail for copyright infringement, what they were doing it up here, you know, and how they were mass producing that. Because, Fraser, you haven't been up here, but when you come to New York, I'm going to take you to the Chinese spot.
Okay.
You know,
take them to Chinatown.
Yeah, man. Where you would get the DVDs, you would get the kung fu movie joints, you get all the bootleg. Yo, tell them that's how it was up here, yo.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It was definitely a great era. It's like selling crack on the block. You know what I mean. you had to go get it. You had to go get it. You know what I mean. But you know, for me, the mixtape was kind of hard for me to push in Miami because it wasn't like how it was in New York. You know what I mean? In New York, you know, you got 5 boroughs, all types of different blocks. And if SNS, Kid Capri, Tony Touch, Doo-Wop, any of these DJs would come out with a mixtape, man, you know, you would have to go get it because, you know, they had the exclusive freestyles and stuff such like that. Miami, you know, some of us DJs, we were able to put out mixtapes, but you know, we don't got blocks like that. You know what I mean? Miami blocks is as long as, you know, how it is out here with palm trees, and we ain't trying to stay out in this hot heat trying to do that. Right. You know, but you know, thank God nowadays, you know, you got some mixtape platforms or some you know, some sound websites that you could upload your mixtapes. But for me, it's you know, it's still not for me. You know what I mean? I'd rather do a live mixtape at 10 o'clock on Wednesday, and it's for you to catch it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And of course, I'm gonna upload it on my gram, so in case you missed it, you'll see it. But you know, these days, that's how I consider running my mixtapes. You know, just, you know, you're gonna have to catch the best of Bad Boy, or you know, the best of Jay-Z, or you know, the best of Big Daddy Kane, or something like that. You know what I mean? And you know, that's how you're gonna catch my mixtapes. And thank you for Instagram for allowing me to do these things and figuring it out, because a lot of DJs haven't figured it out yet. You know, when D-Nice got on the gram and started doing what he did, it was mind blowing. And I'm like, you know, I'm sitting there, I'm watching, and I'm like, dude, you know, this guy is having fun playing his favorite music and healing the world at the same time.
Yeah.
And I'm getting hit by all my fan base and other DJs like your Epps. Why don't you jump on the live? You know what I mean? Why don't you do the same thing? And I was like, yeah, I should, but I just wanted to do it different. You know what I mean? I wanted to make sure I'm not just jumping on the live and just getting only 22 people on the live. It was kind of, you know, I didn't like it. Like 22 people, that's it. That's all I could pull. But, you know, thank God I met some important people from Instagram and social media world, and they taught me how to build my own network. And, you know, I built, with a partner of mine, I built my own TV app called Zodiac TV, which is in conjunction with Roku TV, Fire TV, Apple TV, even a bunch of other smart TVs that we haven't even heard of that's in Japan or China and stuff like that. So they all connected to my Instagram. So the minute I go live at 10 o'clock, the whole world is tuning in. And then, the numbers go up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people, they're from my Instagram, but majority of my fan base, people that's watching me, are in their living room or on their smart TV and whatnot, watching me, you know what I mean? Some of them can't comment because they don't have a keyboard on their television, but
Right.
they dare, and Instagram allowed me to rock out. You know what I mean? Most DJs would complain, be like, damn, man, I'm always getting cut off. But they taught me how Instagram sees that I'm a blue check person. I'm authentic. I'm the real deal. I say who I am, and I'm doing a good cause. And they I learned all of this in one snap of a finger, that I'm whitelisted. You know what I mean? That most labels let me play records. And if you watch my shows, sometimes I'm not getting caught off. You know what I mean? Most of the times I'm not getting caught off. Knock on wood. But that and Instagram allows me to make money through badges, and and now I'm just putting out packages out there. If you want me to play your music, if you want to be interviewed by me, you could jump on my platform and be part of DJ Epps and Friends.
Nice. Now I'm old school, like you say. Back in the day, DJ, you had to go to strip club DJ, you had a party DJ, you had a bootleg DJ, but they all play the same thing, put records out there. But the thing I like about it most is, like you say, a lot of people don't do for new upcoming artists. You got I have friend DJs where they want a lot of money to put their record on the radio label.
Yeah,
they want to put so much money, so independent artists can't afford to put their record on the radio because they're going their budget. Their budget's not that big. Mm-hmm. So how do you really how your platform is helping the independent artists break through that little ledge of overspending money for something that shouldn't cost as much like it used to be in the 80s. 80s, if you send a record label to a record label on the day, in Power City you do play your free music every day, you send it in, and if you get lucky to pick, you got to listen to the radio.
Oh, Fresh, you're talking about the radio joint where you would send the record in and they'd be like, yo, check out this new thing. Boom, boom, boom. If it hit, they played it the next week.
Exactly.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Exactly. Have you thought of doing something like that? Because think about it. Now the Instagram, people into reaction, have put a camera in there. They were like,
well, believe it or not, that still exists. Don't get it twisted. But I think 2 Chainz said it one time. You know what I mean? You gotta basically have at least 175,000 or something like that to go get your music played on these radio stations. But these radio stations are making it more easier for me because somebody said it the other day that Epps, you're like the underground radio station of Instagram. You know what I mean? And I took that as like a great compliment because that's what it is. Because now all these record labels are hitting me, all these artists are hitting me, all these PR are hitting me. Like, yo, I like what you did with that artist. I like how you interviewed that artist. How can I get my artist on your platform? So it just like I said, it becomes a domino effect, and they start hitting me up, and I'm able to interview them, study them, and play their music at the same time. Your music could be whack, your music could be good. I'm not worried about it being good or great or bad. I'm worried about giving the artist a chance. Because guess what? Now that I'm playing it, it's not like you could play it on Hot 97 or 99 Jams here in Miami or something like that, and you could feel the comments or see the comments from the people that's listening to it. You really can't. You could just hope your music really picks up.
Yep.
But here on my live, I'm playing it, I'm going crazy, I'm backing it up right in front of your face.
Right.
And everybody's in the comment boxes putting the fire emojis. They're giving you the instant, comment like, yo, this shit is hot. Oh, this is high. Oh, I give it 2 mics. Oh,
right.
You know what I mean? It's right there in your face. So, as I'm going through the pandemic and I'm learning how to build this, it became a great platform for me and for any artist that needs to get their music jump started and pushed by a great DJ like myself. And I see other DJs trying to do it, but it's a science. It's a science, and you got to be consistent with it too.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, okay, I'm gonna do my own radio station Monday to Friday. I'm not gonna worry about going on a real radio station and worry about playing the same 25 songs over and over and over again, because it gets really boring. So now I could do whatever I want. You know what I mean? And by doing that, I want to thank LL Cool J for paying attention to my craft and giving me another platform to have my own show on Rock the Bells on Sirius XM on Saturday night at 9:00, the Saturday Night Ride. So people are watching it, and it's a great situation for me, man. And I'm very happy that I got to do this for the world and for the artists and the music label. I mean, the record labels and everybody else that loves to hear music and watch a real DJ on turntables, not controllers.
Exactly.
Turntables.
Right.
Okay, one thing for you. Like, what were your inspiration on why you really truly became a DJ? Like, who are your idols? Like, could everybody have an idol? I can't really name a DJ idol, but I know a couple DJs about growing up. They were so good to you, like you love listening to them. Like, wow, I want to do that one day.
Yeah, when I was raised in New York, I sat down and I would listen to Red Alert on WBLS. I would listen to Flex. I would watch Ed Lover and Dr. Dre on MTV. Yeah, you know what I mean? And I actually saw the turntables. I'm like, what's that? You know what I mean? And then when I would go to my parents, my mom's friends' Haitian parties, or we didn't throw Haitian parties, and the DJ would come with their equalizer and their turntables, and I'm like, that's how you do it. So I took what I saw with the equipment and just took the hip hop factor and then put it together and start running down to the Wiz on 96 on Broadway. You know what I mean? Picking out the Big Daddy Kane album, the Salt and Pepper, the Special Ed albums, you know what I mean? And I got to work. But at the same time, while I'm in New York, there were tons. And when I say tons of DJs, you know what I mean? And I'm young. I can't really move to the clubs yet, you know what I mean? So it was hard for me. It was hard for me to, get my name out there. But I'm listening, I'm learning, and then my mom just was like, you know what, it's time for us to get out of New York. Let's go somewhere else. Let's build a beautiful life. And she went to Miami first and got the place, and then I went afterwards. And when I came down here, man, I came at a good time where I was in tune with some frat people that was throwing parties. Yeah. Shout to a comedian, Finesse Mitchell, and he would book me to his parties to rock out his parties, and my name just started escalating right there. And at the same time, I'm walking down South Beach. I'm looking for clubs to do, and I ran into this club called Sugar Shack, and I said, can I come rock this party? And this tall guy named Rich looked down at me and was like, listen, man, you come rock this party, I'll let you rock every week.
Nice.
If you whack, I'm gonna throw you and your crates out on Washington Avenue. And he was high tall. He was high tall, and I'm looking at him like, all right, let's give this a try. And sure enough, I rocked it, and he gave me my own party called the Sugar Shack. And after the Sugar Shack, another club down the block, legendary Fat Black Pussycat, Liquid, realized there was a hip hop DJ around, and they put me in their small room. Their big room was playing funk, disco, but their small room was playing hip hop, and they let me rock the small room. And man, I shit you no lie, I would have Biggie in my booth. I would have Jerry Seinfeld in my booth. Michael Jordan would come visit. All these big name would come to this legendary. It was like Studio 54 type vibe,
right?
If you know what I'm talking about. But these big legendary artists would come and hang out and be in my booth. I would have Bobby on one side and Whitney on the other side. You know what I mean? Just having a ton of fun. You know what I mean? Just having a great time. And that's how my name just kind of like, blew up and being the legendary name in Miami and whatnot. So now I'm starting to do my own parties. But yeah, to answer your question, Red Alert, definitely my brother Kid Capri.
Yeah.
Funk Flex, listening to him on the radio. When I came down to Miami, DJ Craze, a battle DJ, a technician DJ, won the DMC competition about 20 times if I lost count. This guy, we would skip school and I would go to his house and watch him practice for these things. So those names alone, man, I look up to them, you know what I mean? And I kind of that's how I kind of build DJ Epps and my brand and whatnot. So
right.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So let me ask you, let's switch gears a little bit to Zodiac TV.
Mm-hmm.
Tell everybody what the premise is about Zodiac TV. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Frazier and I have been talking about, either creating a TV channel, everything else, self-help for business, new entrepreneurs, because a lot of things in our communities we don't know. And so because we don't know, we kind of stifle our growth in the beginning, so to speak. Whereas our counterparts have a lot of the things that we don't have, as far as the knowledge to start or the help, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We technically are always behind the 8 ball. You see what I'm saying? When it comes
Mm-hmm.
to certain things, when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to a lot of those businesses influence, and Roku and streaming platforms has been something that we've really been interested in, but we've never had anybody that, quite honestly, that we could talk to and say, what is really this about? Now, we've had people that have channels, but we've never really, every time I approach them and say, hey, how do you get a channel on Roku? What is this, that, and the third? Everybody becomes mute, like I'm getting ready to step into their lane. So just tell everybody a little bit about Zodiac TV, how it came about, and what's the premise of that, so to speak.
Well, if I tell you, I'm gonna have to kill you.
That's right.
Oh,
That's
don't.
right.
But at the same time, I want to drop a little gem to everybody that don't know, because the world is turning, and if you don't know that, you have to start being visible, and you have to know this computer stuff. You have to know the TV network stuff as much as music. You got to get to it, because like I said, the world is changing, and before I get into that, it's like I'm here rocking clubs, well, strip clubs, because in Miami there ain't no more clubs no more. It's just strip clubs,
Mm-hmm.
and you play, and I'm here playing the girl's favorite song versus what the crowd wants. You know what I mean? So I'm here getting bored. I'm getting discouraged with not performing in front of a good crowd, and I almost left it alone until somebody pulled me over, like, yo, Epps, man, get on the turntables. Let's do this, and that. My partner, he's more of the technical side, which I suggest everybody to get. Get yourself a computer genius. Get yourself somebody that really knows the art of content and codes when it comes to Roku TV and putting it together. You got to build yourself a network, your own network. So if you guys building yourself a network, man, I built Zodiac TV because they showed me that how it could connect to all these smart TVs and other channels. So, for Zodiac TV, if you look at it, I'm still building it. I'm still creating. I'm still making it look nice and all. But I really build it to connect to those other platforms, those big platforms, so everybody could watch me. So you would have to find yourself a computer genius that knows how to, do those codes and get approved by certain networks, and also later on in life you're going to be able to get sponsors, commercials.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you're making money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it, man. I can't really tell you that much, but I just could tell you have to build your own network. Yeah, the YouTube Live is cool. Yeah, the Facebook Live is cool. But soon you're going to end up finding that you want to go bigger.
Mm-hmm.
You want to, get to a bigger platform. You want to reach people in Switzerland or Finland or Hawaii.
Yeah.
So now that I did that, you know, now I find myself going to Hawaii. I just got back with the family. Now I'm going to Las Vegas. I'm going to Atlanta. I'm moving around because people are kind of reaching out and they see me, and your fan base is getting bigger, you know, and so on. So, you know, I think it's very important for you to just make sure you build yourself a huge network, not just a network, a huge network. You know, think about building your own Real Talk app. You know what I mean? And just connecting it with all types of smart TVs where people overseas, because they like what us Americans do.
Mhm.
So they're watching us. I'm telling you, they are watching us. So, you know, that's pretty much it, man. Just really get yourself a huge platform, build yourself a network, you know, get yourself your own TV network, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if it blows up to a point where Netflix might offer you a spot on their situation, or Hulu, you know, that's what you want.
Right.
That's what you want.
And real quick, what's the cost of entry into that? Can you say? Because I know when I had a digital magazine, it was for combat sports and boxing, and I paid the guy almost 15 grand to build an app that you could do and read the magazines and a few other things.
It's gonna cost. It's gonna cost.
Okay.
It's gonna cost, but we're happy to say that we are seeing money coming back in.
Nice.
We are seeing money coming back in, whether it's through sponsors, whether it's through commercials, whether it's through me breaking records, all these packages that these artists are buying. You know what I mean? It's coming through. You know, right now we're making a deal with a company, and they're creating us a Zodiac TV debit card. You know what I mean?
Nice.
It goes as far as that. You know what I mean? So there's ways to just really manifest the situation.
Nice.
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 Like that. So I like that. I mean, he's always thinking big. I would say here, George always talk. We always think about ways to get things bigger, to promote bigger, to do things bigger. Because they say you want to grow. When you do something, you want to grow, and eventually it does pay back. It does cost a lot, but it does pay back.
And you got to be patient, because it's going to take some time, because you're going to learn as you go. You know what I mean? It might be frustrating, like, why isn't this working? Why isn't that working? But, you know, that's why you have a computer genius by your side. That's why you got YouTube. You know, YouTube tends to show you a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? They got all types of tutorials and whatnot.
Right.
That's true. So, what tips you give like certain people who wants to get into DJ business? Like you say, not that old day where you get a turntable and go do a party and people got word of mouth no more. Now it's actually you got to be known now, even before you come out. So how you get tips for the young girls who want to come up, young kids want to come up?
Well, one thing I could say as a young blood back in the days, one of my situations was every year, January 1st, I just say to myself, what can I do different that I did last year? What can I do new? What can I do, you know what I mean, that could, you know, stay in people's face, you know what I mean? Yeah, I might have had a year off of just, you know, trying to figure it out, but I could say for most of the years since the early 90s, I've been consistent with my brand. That's why I'm here with you guys till today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's what it's all about, is being consistent, being humble. I think you have to also be a great performer, because nowadays anybody and everybody's a DJ. My mom put some music on, she's a DJ. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But if you are a performer and you know how to mix those records, you make, you know, till this day people say, "Oh, that's it. That's what it is." You know, I was at a had a party yesterday, and yeah, predominantly it was a Caucasian crowd, but you know, I had a couple of our peoples there, and you know, once I went into a funk era, you know,
oh yeah,
those people my people kind of was like, what? But the Americans, you know, they came over and they just like, you know, they started doing some fun dances, and that's a memorable moment for me. Like that's like putting the world together. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And to them, I'm pretty sure they remember that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's all about performing, man. Because if you're a great performer, that's it, man. That's it. For me, yeah, I could DJ on controllers. I still perform and do a good show on controllers, but turntables is where it's at for me. Because if you go on my live and you looking at me and you watching, you like, some young bucks might be like, what are those?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But the grown folks, they're like, boy, that boy going off.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I try to stay on my turntables and just produce a great show at all times. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm still moving right now through the pandemic and to this day and whatnot.
That's true. I'm gonna say one thing. I had my old DJ friend tell me all the time. DJ can change the world because music is universal.
That's right.
Yes.
You still believe in that philosophy?
Yes, I do. Because let's be clear. We know my brother D Nice. You know what I mean? But let's be honest. Most of the world did not know where D Nice came from. They didn't know he came from the Boogie Down production era. They didn't know he came from the Tribe Called Quest era. They don't know D. They just know D Nice because he just popped up and he happened to been talked by Oprah Winfrey and so and so. You know what I mean? So yeah, you know what I mean? And that's great about the art of a great DJ. You know what I mean? If you still could touch the world and heal the world, you're that guy.
Right.
You're that guy. And with that being said, I thank you guys for allowing me to come on your platform and being interviewed by you guys too.
Well, listen, man, it was a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Talking to brothers up here from New York. I'm in Jersey, Fraser's in Miami, so it's just
Fraser, you gonna come meet me in the strip club whenever you're ready, man.
I'm coming to see you. You already know that.
I'm there tonight at that Playhouse whenever you're ready. Every Monday I'm there.
All right, brother.
And you see, that's another thing too of a great DJ. You know what I mean? I don't even DJ my own party. Like I had that party for 5 years. I let the little homies rock out. I let them do it. You know what I mean? And I get my money at the door and go home. You know what I mean?
Right.
But at the same time, letting those DJs rock out, one of the things you have to be for being a great DJ is not to depend on promoters all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You got your own following, you got your own platform, be your own promoter and do your own parties and get your bread like that. You know what I mean? Get your fan base like that.
Nice.
Definitely.
Well, listen, we know that you're busy, man, and we really thank you for taking the time out of your day to come talk to us. Let everybody know where they can find you on social media.
On social media, all platforms at DJ Epps. And once again, my show is Monday to Friday, weeknights at 10 p.m. Eastern. You could go on my Instagram. You can see me on my live right there. But it also, once I go live there, it connects to my Facebook. That's a good thing about Zodiac TV and getting a platform stream like this one. What's this one called?
StreamYard.
Yeah, I use the OBS. So once I go live on my Instagram, I go live on my Twitch, I go live on my Facebook Live, my Periscope, my YouTube Live, everywhere else. So at 10 o'clock on all my platforms, you can catch the DJ Epps friends at DJ Epps.
Nice.
All right. Well, listen, brother, we appreciate you being on the show.
Well, that's my favorite speech, George. That's my favorite speech.
I know, Fraser. That's why I stopped.
Record, I tell that to everybody. Once you give a show, we all family. So welcome to the family, brother.
Man. Yo, I appreciate that, guys, man. And thank you for allowing me to come on your platform and getting interviewed. And thank you again. Fraser, George, you guys got the #1 show out there, man. Keep that thing rocking.
Appreciate you, brother.
All day.
Appreciate
you.
Peace.
I like that, Joy. Hear that, Joy? #1, baby.
Yeah, man. If he can do it, we can definitely do it, brother. Listen.
Oh, definitely. Man. Yeah, another banger, man. Another banger.
Another banger. Hey, this is George.
Hey, this is Fraser.
That was Real Talk with George and Fraser. Peace.
Peace.